welcome to Fantasy Fives, a football podcast where I chat to an esteemed guest all about their dream five-a-side team. Usually it's someone in my phone book. This week it's someone who was in my Instagram DMs, and by that I mean me to him. We have the brilliant Cillian Sheridan. Firstly, Cillian or Cillian?
Cillian, please.
Cillian.
Yeah.
Cillian.
Yeah.
What's the correct pronunciation?
Cillian.
Cillian.
Yeah.
What in Scotland have you always had Cillian?
Nah, Cillian is like my Scottish name.
So here, I thought that would have been like an English thing.
Everyone up here just calls me Cillian.
Why?
I think because of Celtic. Did you see this? Like, no, as in like how you pronounce
Yeah, okay.
Celtic.
Yeah.
You don't say
So you just
Glasgow,
go
Celtic.
Yeah, so Cillian, you've been...
Although, sorry, Cillian Murphy has helped me out a lot lately.
Because I actually watched a meme of him being the most Irish person ever for St. Patrick's Day, and it's all about how, have you seen when he stares down Prince Harry when he's speaking to him?
I've seen
And
all
there's
of
all of
his-
it, yeah. So it was,
yeah.
someone put a mass of that, so I was watching that today. It seems like you've been in Scotland for a long time. When did you first come here?
When I was 17. So
Jeez, man. Half your life, pretty much.
so now I'm 36. 19 years ago,
And you came to play for Celtic.
came over to Celtic, 17, and then
How did that come about? Because obviously you're one of the first few footballers we've had on this. How does it come about? So you're playing over in Ireland. How does the move to Celtic come about?
basically I was in the Irish.
You're going to say the IRA there. I genuinely thought you were going to say that. I was like, fucking hell, we're going strong already.
I categorically deny. Yeah, I was in the Irish underage setups, and I was one of the only players who hadn't signed to academies or anything.
Right.
So I was like a year later coming over than everyone else.
Yep.
So I think a lot of clubs would just look at team sheets at internationals and be like, he's still playing it for like a boys' club in Dublin.
So you were like, when you're in a nightclub like 2:45 when you're trying to go home with someone, you were just...
I was the straggler club, Scott. Yeah, basically. Yeah, never thought about it like that.
And then what happened? Did they just get in touch with you or...
They'd get in touch with my club, which were Belvedere. And then you just kind of get told, right, Celtic want to take you over on trial, go over for a week. And I think Celtic were actually the last club I went to on trial. I'd been on
Where
like,
did you go?
I went Norwich, Sunderland, Blackburn. I think there's another one in there.
And what,
Anyway, then
so you, as a 16, 17-year-old, will get shipped over, go there for a week, train with the first team, train with the youth team. What happens?
generally you train with the youth team. The Sunderland one was a weird one because Sunderland I went over and like I played a game on the Saturday. So normally you'd go over maybe Sunday night, you'd be in there from Monday till the Friday.
Yeah.
And I got a knock on like my calf or something in the game. I didn't really think too much of it. Then like Monday morning I went in and I'd like had to go in to see the physio and I was like,
On day one?
my calf.
Oh.
Yeah. And the physio was kind of looking at it and like, yeah, it looks like you've done your calf here. Like, why have you come over? And I was like, I don't know. I was just didn't want to disappoint anyone.
Yeah.
And that was at Sunderland, and I basically was in with the physio for 4 days. And then on the last day, the Friday, I got to train and had like an unbelievable training session. And then at the end of it, like the head of the youth or whatever will have the meeting to say, right, we want to see you again. You're not for us. And he actually was like, well, obviously I can't really make a judgment because you had 1 day of training, but the plan was to get you in with the first team today on the Friday. This was when Mick McCarthy was the manager. And
So you've done 4 with the youth, then 1 with the first
I
team?
think that was their plan. Obviously never happened.
See, when you're 16,
And-
17, is that not gutting to hear?
It didn't register too much because my whole thing is I always feel like I was late to everything when I was younger. So like the whole academy setup, I kind of missed all that. A lot of, even when I came over to Celtic, like a lot of the first team I didn't really know. So yeah,
Okay.
so it was all like total, I was like quite naive coming into it all.
Is that not quite nice?
I think it helped me. I didn't have the whole pressure of like my whole youth was in an academy with the end goal of being in the first team. I was
Yeah.
just kind of over, like, almost felt like winging it. Like, if
you-
it works out, brilliant. If not,
This makes sense because I've met you a few times. You always seem like quite a normal person for a footballer. Most footballers are normal, but they have weird. What's a nice way? Idiosyncratic? I don't know. They just have weird anomalies. Whereas you've always just seemed like just happy to be there, turn up. And
yeah, in general, yeah.
So when you go to Celtic and you go into that dressing room, who do you know?
So there was a few Irish boys that I'd played with in Belvedere. So my team in Dublin. One of the guys was over there, Paul Cahalan. He was a youth player. Graham Carey
Yeah, great
was
left foot.
in my Ireland team, so I knew him.
Is he Irish?
Yeah,
I always thought he was Scottish. Graham
Dublin.
Carey.
Yeah,
Is he?
yeah.
Right, okay.
So me and him are kind of like the only two from my like Ireland age group that kind of are still playing.
That's mad, isn't it? And then you come over here, you've played in, how many times you played in the Champions League? Just for Celtic or what other clubs? No, you played for
Apoel as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's 9 or 10. I don't know. I should know it.
We did an Off the Ball recently, and someone messaged in. I saw this afterwards when the producer showed me, saying one of the most impressive things they've heard in a long time of the show, which shows the level of what people think of my presenting, was you listing off your clubs in order, including loan spells, because you could go all the way through it.
Yeah.
Which is what I think we counted, like 16 clubs in that time when you've gone from.
And I would have added to St. No, I was still a pre.
You were a Brecon then, because it was just after the cup game.
Yeah.
So in that journey, you've been all over the world, technically, if you include Wellington Phoenix as the world.
Yeah.
What's been the highlights? What's been the lowlights?
Highlights will be Cyprus, because like when people ask me what's my favorite, I'll always say Cyprus because football went really good, and it's Cyprus, like it's a holiday destination for a reason. Whereas if you're there and football isn't going well, you can't enjoy it as much.
So has there been times when you've gone abroad and you've not enjoyed it? Like when you went to Poland or whatever, or New Zealand?
Bulgaria. The first time I went to Bulgaria, that was
what makes it unenjoyable?
Because I was 21. It was the first time I'd went abroad.
Yeah.
And I was living there.
Were you in a hotel or an apartment or what?
No, I was in an apartment, but I was living there as if I was still here. And when I was here, I was like a Celtic reserve player. Like I wasn't a big name, so I could kind of go about and do
whatever you wanted,
whatever I wanted to. And I tried doing that over there, where it was like CSK Sofia would be like one of the biggest teams over there.
Yes.
In Sofia, I was like their big signing that summer, so everyone knew me, and I was just like,
was that because sometimes like if I do a gig and like for me actually, no, the best way example is when I was in Germany. A lot of people knew who I was from doing Sky Sports stuff or doing football stuff or whatever. And I was getting recognised a lot and it felt weird. Whereas if you're there, Germany was 10 days. That's a whole season for you.
Yeah.
Like how do you avoid it? What do you do?
For the first, I'd say 4 or 5 months, it was okay. Because when I went there, I was doing all right. And when you're doing all right, you kind of get away with everything.
Flavor of the month, yeah.
And then as soon as you're not doing all right, then everything's a problem. And I was just ignorant to it all.
Really?
I don't care, blah, blah, blah.
Were you a dick?
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
And then what age do you stop being a dick at?
I came back to Scotland. I came back to St. Johnson. My second season there, I came back to St. Johnson on loan. And because I was there previously anyway, but just that year I kind of had I was able to see almost myself from the outside as I would have looked in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
So there was some players at St. Johnson that season that might have been terrible at training and stuff and had bad attitudes. And then I'd hear other guys talking about it, and then I was like, it hit me one day. I was like,
oh, that's me.
That was me.
Yeah.
That was me, and probably worse.
Have you been back to Bulgaria since?
No, I went there for a training camp once with another team, but
they're doing effigies of you or anything?
Sorry, no, I went back for my third season.
Oh, did you go back after St. Johnson?
Yeah, because I signed.
It's hard to read in Wikipedia when you go through it. Yeah, innit?
I signed a 3-year contract. Second season, I was on loan at St. Johnson for the full season. Then went back for the third season because I was had this revelation that I want to go back, show a better version of myself.
Okay.
There was a new manager. He liked me. Went back and done pre-season. All was going good. Then we got knocked out in the second round of Europa League qualifying, to a non-seeded team. Fans went mad. They've overreacted. They've released they'd signed 7 or 8 new players that summer. They released 6 of them the next day. Or tried to. I don't know how legal it was.
Yeah.
Then they ended up 2 months later, the season's about to start. They get a transfer ban from a previous dealing. and they're told they can't register new players before the 1st of September.
Brilliant.
There was 4 league games to go before that day. So they had to then, all these new players they signed couldn't register to play in the league. So there was literally like 12 players registered that they could play. And they had to ask some of the players that they had like basically kicked out
To come back.
can you come back for these few games?
Oh.
1 or 2 of them did, like they were just like kind of swallowed it and were like, well, it could benefit me.
And did it?
We didn't win a game, I don't think. We didn't win a game. I was one of the players that I was still there, but I wasn't asked to leave.
Yeah.
And then it was coming up to like a day before the window was about to close. And I just thought, I'm happy just to get out of here.
And where did you head to then?
And then I went to Kilmarnock
Right,
for the season and then ended up back out in Cyprus.
Yeah, because when you're in Cyprus, you're winning the league. That must be fun. Do you just, see in your days off, do you just sunbathe? What do you do?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go to the beach, but only because football was going good. You could, like, literally, you couldn't do it otherwise.
See, there must be times, Cillian, when you've come back to Dundee and you're thinking, I was on the beach in Cyprus 4 years ago. What the fuck has happened? Do you ever look back and things like that? Or
Yeah.
where's the club
every day. I wake up every day now and I think, where did it go wrong?
where's the club you wish you'd stayed at longest?
Maybe, I don't know. Like, I always look back
It's hard to
at
do.
the time.
'cause
At the time when I was at
hindsight's-
Applewell in my second season when we were in the Champions League, and like I was doing really well.
Yeah.
I was like one of the main, I was like one of the main players. I
It was
a
coming up on
starter.
Twitter all the time. Yeah, I remember seeing it.
And this was like during the Champions League campaign, and they came and offered me a new contract. And I think like we'd asked for more, obviously, but
That's what you're gonna do.
there wasn't much negotiating going on. And then I ended up seeing out that contract. Kind of got injured in January. So I broke my big toe in January from kicking. I kicked the post in anger.
Oh, you're one of them.
Broke my big toe.
Oh.
Broke my big toe.
How long did that put you out for?
Like a month, 6 weeks. And it was just as a new manager came in. So he's come in and he's like, what's up? I'm like, I have a broken toe.
How'd you do that? You just angry.
Yeah, anger.
And then where did you go after Apple then?
And then I went to Ammonia. They're rivals.
Yeah.
Big
move.
But then like in me saying, I don't know if I'd say I wish I stayed at Applewell or I just signed that contract. Because at the time I probably did deserve a little more than what they were offering. So, and then when I went to Ammonia, I actually had a really good season, like scoring wise, which then probably got me moves to Poland and stuff.
Yeah.
But the next season, then Applewell got into the Champions League again and got, I think, did Dortmund and Real Madrid.
It's
like they would have been good ones to have as well. But
because it's funny because sometimes in comedy, someone will say, how much do you want for a show? Like, and I'll say a fee and you price them out and you go, oh, well, that's just one gig. Whereas for you, it's like a year at time is. So when you go over to New Zealand, what's the standard like over there? Because I've been to a lot of A-League games in my time and it's very hit and miss, I think. How did you find it?
Yeah, I remember the manager at the time used to, because I didn't watch any A-League or anything. And
so you've got something to do on a Friday morning, unlike me, which was in BT Sport watching it. Yeah.
And I remember the manager like kind of explaining it to me and he was saying like the teams don't keep possession too well. So it'll be like, it's kind of quite basketball-y. It's very attack. But one thing I did find that took me by surprise was physically it was much harder than I thought. I thought like it'd be
But you're someone who was an Aussie rules prodigy, were you not? Were you not going to
potentially?
Go play? Yeah,
potentially. That was true Gaelic football.
Right, okay.
So that was a weird one. Getting offered to go and play Aussie rules without ever playing Aussie rules.
That's what happens in the NFL now. They started recruiting a lot of Aussie rules and rugby league players from Australia because of that kind of body shape and stuff like that. Do you ever, is that a sliding doors moment? Do you ever wish you'd gone and played Aussie rules?
Not really. No, because football worked out. Not really.
Yeah. You say what I find so funny about you is I was asking you, I think it was after we did the radio and I was talking about your Ireland debut and your first start for Ireland actually. And I was saying, what was it like playing against Messi? And you were like, I don't remember that. And you'd been subbed on and subbed off in the same minute or something like that with Messi?
I think you brought up that we were subbed at the same minute.
And you didn't even know that.
I didn't realise that. No,
so you'd
I had
walk
no
by
idea.
or whatever? No. What, like playing for Ireland, was that something you'd always dreamed of? Because you hear footballers say it, but sometimes I don't believe them.
I kind of always, I'll always say that's like the pinnacle, international football.
Is it? Okay.
I think so, yeah. It's not like Champions League debatably is a better level of football, but
personal
the
meanings.
actual like a Champions League versus a World Cup, like World Cup is the best thing,
Yes,
which is international football.
Do you get a physical cap?
I did 2 years ago.
What, like 5 years after
I
it
got
happened?
a call from the new. So I never like. I suppose it does kind of maybe sum me up a little bit. Because they were friendlies, I was never really sure
if it counted.
If they were counted, or do I actually get physical caps or anything? And I didn't like
follow
up or like I didn't try and find out. Just like I'm sure if I was to get caps, I'd have got them.
Yeah.
And
see, I would think that as well. I don't think that's a bad thing. Yes.
And then I got a call out of the blue when I was in Dundee one day, like doing rehab, and
for football.
Football,
yeah. You're never sure with footballers. You've got to check.
And the new president of the FAI phoned me saying that he was like going through records of players who hadn't received caps.
Okay.
Received their caps.
I thought there was going to be a box or somewhere with you or something. No.
And he was like, I've noticed it's been like
that's sound, isn't it?
10 years since you made your international appearances and you never got your caps for them. And I was like, oh, brilliant. Yeah, send them to the home address.
Where are they now?
They're back home in Ireland.
Great.
So I got, I think, just 3 little caps.
And do you still watch a lot of football?
I'm funny with football I watch. So I'll have to watch something of an interest in.
Okay.
It's like I'll watch a Friday night Scottish Championship game over a Premier League English game.
I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. I have found the older I get, the more I kind of need to be invested in it, or my wife's gone to bed. There's something to do. Like
I'll need to know the players. That's my big thing.
Like as in having played with them, played against them.
Played with them, played against them, know them, or just know their names. So like, say if I had the option on a Sunday afternoon, Man United, or maybe not Man City.
Yeah, you're Irish. You're going to watch Man United and Arsenal and Tottenham. That's the rules, isn't it?
Man City and Liverpool, we'll say, are going to play at 3:00. Another game at 3:00.
A Dundee derby.
Wolves and Bournemouth.
Yeah, okay.
Man City, Liverpool is going to be 0-0. You tell me before the game, this is going to be 0-0, boring game. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Wolves and Bournemouth is going to be 5-4, game of the season. I'll watch Man City, Liverpool.
Why?
Because I've no interest in Wolves and Bournemouth.
Wow.
I don't know the players. I don't really care where either of those teams finish. Whereas Man City and Liverpool, I've like know all the players. You like the team, like you know everything about them. Where I actually will like
you can tell the story.
Have an interest in that. Yeah.
Tell the story about playing against Andy Robertson or whatever to bore whoever. You must have played against Andy Robertson.
No.
Do you not cross paths?
No.
Oh, you suppose you might have been in Europe the time you came through.
Yeah, he's what would he be? 33, 34?
I think slightly younger. I would go 31, 32 if I was to guess. He made his debut.
Sorry, Andy Robertson.
As if he's listening. I heard a story about him yesterday that he won't eat on camera because all the footballers everywhere, they can get edited and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, you've won a Champions League, but at what cost? Yeah. He said he won't eat on camera at all.
Oh, as if they'll change something else in his mind.
I think so, yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's what's going to happen. Do you know, I did a football podcast.
I'm glad I didn't make it to that level then, if that's the case.
That's the whole reason. Do you know, I used to do a football podcast and I always just ask people who the best player they've played with and the best player they've played against is. I want to go a different tack this time. So who's your best friend in football?
My best friend in football.
What footballer is like your really good mate?
The one I'd hang about with most, probably Aidan McGeady.
Is it?
Yeah.
I saw you both at a comedy show once. That's the first time I met you, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it would be Aidan, yeah.
And then
I don't keep in touch with many.
I think that's normal.
Like, I'm friends with loads of guys. I'll be in teams and be really good friends with guys.
How many people hang out with all their old workmates? Is that kind of thing, innit? And what about the player on the pitch you hated playing against?
Player I hated playing against. Don't know. No one really comes to the top of my head. I remember a game, I think I might have been at Kilmarnock. and playing Dundee United. Remember Gavin Gunning?
Yes. He took his ball and walked off the pitch. Yeah, that's what everyone remembers about Gavin Gunning, yeah.
And I could not win a header against them that night. And it was like, the more I wasn't winning them, the more I was like, the fuck is going on?
It's
like,
Gavin Gunning.
yeah. I'm taller than him, bigger than, like, I'm good in the air. I always like fancy myself, and I just could not get like my timing, nothing.
And do you say anything to him?
I think we were kind of, because he's funny. Like, he'll have a laugh and like we'll be talking during the game.
Yeah.
I'm sure like we're saying something like about that, but that game always comes to my head whenever I think of like maybe having a bad game or like not winning headers and stuff.
It's just Gavin Gunning.
That comes into my head, yeah.
He's your sleep paralysis demon. That's so good.
Yeah.
So we've got you on Fantasy Fives. The two rules I have is you've got to have someone from the team you support and the manager has to be someone from your phone book. As your football, we can change that and it can be someone that from a team you played in, or you can say, what team did you support growing up?
When I was very young, Man United, and then it was weird. They won the treble, and I just changed. I was like, and I started supporting Leeds.
Wow!
Because of the Irish, all the Irish players,
Ian Hart,
David O'Leary's era. Yeah,
is Gary Kelly Irish?
Gary Kelly,
yeah.
Gary Kelly is Ian Hart's uncle.
Is he?
Yeah.
And they were in the same team on opposite sides.
Yeah.
God, Ireland's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a look at your team. Goalkeeper. Are you playing a goalkeeper?
Yeah.
Okay, who are you going in goals?
I'm going Manuel Neuer.
Great. Why did you choose him?
Because I think he'd be the ultimate five-a-side
goalkeeper. Kelly, do footballers play a lot of fives?
No. I played a few times. I played once at the end of the summer there.
Yeah.
With my friends, and one of my friends, Charlie, he invited me up to play in Octorarder. Like he started playing with a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing anything, and I was like, yeah, why not?
Yeah. How did you find it?
It's an awkward one because you can't go there and be like gung-ho right in it and like as if you'd be in training normally with your team, because guys will look at you and be like,
yeah, chill the fuck out.
Yeah. And then the other part of it, you can't embarrass yourself and show up and look dreadful.
Yes.
So there's like a medium there where you need to go.
How do you judge that?
I think I was quite good at it. Like you start off easy, just jogging around, and then if you can do if you get a few nutmegs in, that kind of so people know.
Yeah.
And then
I've got it in the locker.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then play like a few good passes and stuff. Have like, if you can have a decent shot or two.
Yeah.
Then you're kind of like sweet.
I played sevens with a lot of footballers secretly. It was when a very famous Scottish comedian was organising football games and players would come down and play, but and I remember one of them, I can't remember, it was either Stephen Fletcher or Anthony Stokes, and they'd been dreadful all game. And it was sevens, and then with about 20 minutes to go, they scored an overhead kick. And then they were like, that was the kind of to show us, I've got this, but I'm not doing it for you.
That's exactly it.
It was all of us were like, kind of like, God, he's shite. And they did that. And you're like, okay, yeah. No, he knows what he's doing.
You just need to leave a few like memories for them to be like, how was, like, it was all right.
Yeah.
Done a few good things. Yeah, you could see his touch was good, but you can't go in full press.
In game, imagine just pressing the whole game. What would, because in training for you guys, I'm guessing you would play 11s? You'd never play mini games, would you?
A lot of games, a lot of training, you'd have small-sided games, maybe like five-a-sides and stuff.
Okay. But
it'll
not
be
in
on
the
a
court,
smaller,
yes.
It'll be on a smaller pitch, and it'll be in big goals. So like, see when you go on those like fives pitches, or sevens, it would have been 7-a-sides I was playing.
Yeah,
there's loads of space.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Like you can get it, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to be quicker than
a guy from Octorarder who's a dentist or whatever.
Like, so it's
a guy leaving his shift at Co-op.
It does give you a little bit of an out. If you're having a shark, you can just like knock it by someone and run after.
So why Neuer? What you said he's the ultimate goalie. What makes you think that?
Because shot stopping, unbelievable, and then with his feet, he's almost like a player. Like you see him, with Pep, like he'd play almost like up as like a sweeper.
Or even centre half, further up.
He was
sometimes.
like a player. I just think fives, that's what you need for your keeper.
Is it a cliche that goalies are all mental?
Yeah, and I think you need to be a good goalkeeper. I think you have to have something there,
Okay.
like
A switch.
mental. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember those. I don't want to say his name. He probably won't even. He won't be listening. He was in Cyprus.
Yeah. In my head, I was going through Celtic,
And
Dundee, Kelly.
he was so good and had everything, but was just too serious and like too focused and professional. And I was just like, you just need to like
Yeah.
loosen up a bit, like be a bit mad.
And did anything happen? Did he ever?
He'd done all right, like, but he just had everything good, but just was missing that little bit of madness that he needed.
And what about what formation are you going? With the players you picked?
I'm going.
Are you going fluid or are you going to 1-2-1?
I'm going 1-2-1.
1.
1-2-1.
4 outfield players and a goalie.
Well,
Are you playing any man goal or you let him out? No, you come out.
He might need to come out. Yeah.
Okay.
He might need to come out for to make up for
What are your next player then? Who are you picking? Cillian Sheridan.
Next up is who will I go next? Maradona.
Okay.
Maradona next.
I did wonder, have you picked any players you ever played with or against?
Neuer I've played against.
You played him?
Yeah.
What, in the Champions League?
Under 21s, Ireland, Germany.
Oh, wow. And I'm guessing I was about to say he wasn't Manuel Neuer at the time, but obviously he was, but he wasn't in that state. He's not in
Back
witness
then
protection or
whatever. I don't remember much about the game. The only thing I remember was he tried doing this thing where, you know, when like goalkeepers, the ball's like rolling back to them and they wait for the player, the attacker to come and then they'll pick it up.
Yeah.
And what I decided to do was, as it was coming, I've like kicked dirt into his face. I was like,
yeah.
Now who's the clever one? And he was raging at it.
Was it good?
Yeah,
You got a wee rise out of him.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's my claim to fame with Neuer.
It'd be worse than an Astro kicking the wee beads in your face, wouldn't it? That'd be worse.
Yeah, I think it was down in Cork, Turner's Cross, which would have been a muddy pitch. It would have got a bit of turf in
what a place Cork is, by the way. Right, so you picked Maradona next. What attracted you to Maradona?
Maradona, because I needed like a really strong. I need basically the best players I can get.
Okay.
In this team, there's going to be a bit of carrying.
Okay, that's for both for future on. I like it.
So I need to get.
So why are you picking Maradona over other players? What for you makes him stand out, Cillian?
Well, when I was thinking like who are the best players ever, it's always going to be Maradona. Will be there.
Yeah. Where do you stand?
I'm too young to obviously have seen him play.
Yeah.
But I'd have to go off highlights and everything.
And vibes and all that.
Yeah. Big on the vibes with him.
Where do you stand?
Plus, it's Fives. Fives is a social.
100%.
Yeah.
I think Maradona might end up being one of the most picked ones just purely because people base it on a night out as well, because it goes that way. With the kind of debate that happens, I've spoken about this before the podcast. My son's 5. He watches a lot of stuff on YouTube and they'll say, who's better, Messi or Ronaldo? It's always Americans who don't know. Do you have a shoe in that fight? I was going to say a dog in that fight.
For
best player ever, Maradona.
A goat in the fight.
A goat. Yes, nice.
Between like
Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo. Yeah.
I'll go. Well, if it's like Messi and Ronaldo, I go Messi.
Do you? Why?
For like just as a better player
to watch and all round.
I like Ronaldo more.
Oh, do you?
I like Ronaldo more.
Why?
I don't know. I love him. I just like he doesn't care.
I feel like you could, if you'd have been playing that. See, if you'd have been 10 years younger, you could have been one of the ones in Saudi. You could have been Al Etifak with Gerrard and
before all the big names got there.
No, they've got a mix of levels. Like, so you could have been there.
There's space for us, guys.
3 Ireland caps. You can say that. You'll get in there. Like that guy from TNS that moved over. The Wales top scorer. You could have gone and done that.
Again, it's.
Would you have ever chased that Middle East money? Did you ever get offers to go there? You must have at some point.
It was nearly. I'm saying nearly. Was maybe Qatar year, like maybe around the time when I was in Cyprus at Apoel, around that time. So that might have influenced like what I was wanting from them.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's tax-free over there, guys.
There's some stuff. I'm kind of getting half offers in Qatar and stuff.
Half offers
But
are the
just
worst
never
kind
came.
of offers, aren't they?
But I'd have loved to.
Yeah, just take that money.
I'd have went anywhere.
Would you?
Yeah.
Just if the money's right, I'm playing for the Taliban.
Pretty much. Yeah.
There wasn't even a hint of doubt there. I like that.
Nah.
So Neuer, Maradona. Who's next in this
Neuer,
team?
Maradona, Maradona and Messi.
So you play Messi as well?
Yeah.
So is Maradona not Messi's father-in-law? Is that not? Aguero's.
Aguero is
married to Maradona's daughter, I think.
Aguero is married to Maradona's daughter and is the godfather of Messi's son.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've picked
I've
Messi.
got a lot of family connection
Trivia
here, yeah.
Yeah, it's just going to be... Essentially, this is less
No, Gary and Phil Neville are brothers.
Did not know. Who was the one that blew my mind recently that were brothers? Oh, it was...
Caddens.
No, I'm aware of them.
I didn't know that.
Liam Kelly and Stephen Kelly. Or Sean Kelly.
I only knew that because I went into Livingston last year for a week.
And Sean was there?
Sean was there, yeah.
Because he's just signed for Thistle.
Yes.
And I was researching because I was like, which one is it? Is it Sean or Stephen? And I found out that way. It's because... Have you got brothers?
No.
Yeah. Do you think... It wouldn't be fun to play in the same team as your brother, I don't think.
It'd be very...
I played in the same amateur team as my brother and he was an absolute dick. He would just constantly get
I feel
in
it'd
fights.
be okay because you'd be... I think you'd feel as comfortable to, like, you wouldn't be afraid to say whatever you wanted to them.
Because,
I
yeah.
think.
But do you think also you could start fights and they'd back you up?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that would work out, yeah. So why Messi in this team? Obviously, the GOAT, as you described him earlier.
Messi because because it's, again, like fives, it's that small technical...
He'd be a nightmare to play against.
Yeah,
man.
I feel like he'd play... Like, hear stories about him in training where he'll get angry and just go back, take the ball, like in small games, go back, take the ball off the keeper, just go and beat everyone and score.
Did you ever do that?
Just out of anger.
Did you ever do that when you went over to New Zealand or when you're at Kelly? Just go, fuck this, I'm going to take the ball and skin everyone.
I've tried it where I've taken the ball and just like booted it out of the park or something in anger.
That is great. Right, so Neuer, Maradona, Messi. Who's the fourth player in this team?
Now this is where it starts to get a little bit dodgy.
Yes, okay.
The fourth player, and there's a good reason for this. The fourth player is going to be prime athlete in his athletic abilities.
Yeah.
OJ Simpson.
Okay.
Okay.
Did not see that coming.
No.
You can't go Neuer, Messi, Maradona, OJ. Okay. So this is pre-White Bronco, but while he's in his playing days. Or
It's
is he
pre-Bronco.
pre the allegations?
Pre-allegations.
Yeah. Okay.
But the allegations are a part of his selection.
Okay. It's good to see your thought process, man.
Yeah.
It shows you're working. So why have you picked OJ Simpson in this team, Cillian?
Because I need a killer in the team. A legit, real.
Allegedly. I mean, he did write a book saying if I did it. But
allegedly, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say he looks like he could. Like,
Yeah.
he has it in him.
So you wanting
Maybe.
someone to be violent on the pitch, an aggressive player?
Yeah, in the dressing room before the game even kicks off.
What is it? Is that
I
a
need
thing where
him.
you need like a nutcase in the dressing room, banging them, punching themselves in the head and all that? Seems a cliche.
Maybe
you'd get in
before,
films.
but like,
Not so much now.
no, like you'll have guys shouting and stuff, but no.
Everyone, I thought they'd all just be fixing their man bags, listening to Drake. I thought that's what footballers did now.
There's different levels of football. There's like English Premier League football, and then there's kind of our football. Like, I just feel like
I know exactly what you mean as well.
they're in a different.
Yes.
It's a different world.
Yeah. Did you ever see Troy Hawk, the guy who does all the compliments?
Yeah.
And he did Man City and they were walking in and I remember he said it was like it's like they'd never been talked to like that. They just didn't know how to react. They were like, oh, because usually they don't get people coming up that close to them, or someone will be, if they do meet them, they'll either be
Yeah.
really rude
Or talking to them as if they don't know them.
Yes.
That's, yeah.
It was phenomenal to
Yeah.
see. Right, so you've picked OJ Simpson for his killer instinct, shall we say.
And I needed him to be in his athletic form.
So he'll be pretty
peak
ripped.
fitness. I need, because he needs to
NFL level,
make up for potential.
So who's your fifth player? Who is
a potential loss in players?
Yes. Why?
Because the fifth player has been brought in to be killed.
What, a sacrifice on the pitch?
Yeah.
Who's the fifth player?
The fifth player, this is where it could be potentially the end of my media podcasting.
So for context, you sent me earlier saying this could be my last media appearance. So the fifth player to be killed is?
To the fifth player to be selected.
Yes. But you said he's been set up to be killed.
He's been set up to be killed, yeah. Is going to be a teenage Hitler.
Okay.
But straight away, I need it to be known.
How can you start with Maradona, Messi, and Neuer and end with this?
Because I need that good foundation where they can carry a team of only 3 players. I feel like those 3 players.
Define what age are we talking for Hitler?
Like before any of the
nonsense.
Bad stuff gets into his head before he can
13,
develop.
14, 15. Let's make him 16 so he's an adult because that's less of a crime then. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's OJ's doing the crime, so don't really care.
So how far into the game, what's going to happen? What's your...
I feel like it should be...
What the fuck?
I feel like it should be on site.
Okay.
On site, as soon as he gets there.
Really?
OJ.
Is the ref blowing a whistle? Or is this in the warm-up?
Warm-up. Potentially dressing room as soon as they're getting ready.
Yeah, okay. And the showers like Dream Team?
Well, but before the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Was it Carl Fletcher? Did you ever watch Dream Team? Did you ever?
One of my friends was in it.
Really?
Yeah. He was the manager. No, he was the assistant briefly.
Okay. I loved that growing up. Was it Carl Fletcher that get pushed and the clothes peg went through the back of his head? How's OJ getting rid of Hitler? Have you thought that through? Is it
he has free
artistic reign?
He has free reign. He's free reign.
Imagine OJ just comes back on the pitch with one glove. You're like, oh, he's done it again.
Yeah, Manuel Neuer's.
Great. Okay.
So I'm killing 2 birds with one stone there.
Yep.
We've got rid of Hitler.
Yes.
And OJ is going to be locked up for
great. So is
a murder.
Is OJ arrested during the game, before the game, after the game? Do people suspect him?
I hadn't thought that far into it.
Essentially, you're going to play with the 3 players, or is OJ going to play the game?
Oh, let's go during the game or after the game. They're going to be ready as soon as the game finishes. They're ready to take him.
Yes, okay. And Maradona,
and then
Messi,
Maradona,
Neuer. Will they put up
Neuer.
a fight to stop OJ getting arrested? They're quite happy he's gone.
No, they're happy because they have everything covered. They're good enough to carry the team, and doesn't matter if they're a player down.
I honestly can't believe how quickly this ramped up, Cillian. That was incredible. Like, I was not expecting that in any way.
I've had to do all that with that in my head, knowing that it was coming. And debating whether or not to do it. And to say it.
What was your backup if you didn't go Teenage Hitler? What were you thinking?
I didn't have one. I didn't have one.
So you were going to do it. And then the manager, I'd like someone in your phone book. So you've played football a long time. You must have some interesting characters in there. Who would you want to be the manager of your team?
Not in my phone book.
Okay.
But was in my voicemail.
I'll take that.
Giovanni Trapattoni.
Okay. Oh, when he was your manager?
Yeah, when he was the Irish manager.
So did he give you your Ireland debut?
Yeah.
That's an excellent
He called
one.
me up into the squad, and then...
What's it like? What, you like chatting to him?
He didn't have much English. A lot of his stuff...
I think that's why he picked you. He's like, I'll go get him. That'll be fine.
I'm sure he used to call me like Cillian. Cillian, yeah.
Thought you're Zamorano. Like he's great.
And I remember I think I didn't train in one day. I had like a dead calf. And walking off the pitch, he was like, I played with this guy before, and he used to good striker, used to always get kicked in the shins all the time. And what he'd do, he'd wear shin pads on his calves.
What, at the back?
Yeah. He was trying to kind of tell me to wear 2 sets of shin pads.
And did you say, yeah,
no,
right, mate.
No. I was like, yeah, sounds good.
Just dismissing Trapattoni. Yeah, cool, mate. Yeah, catch you later on.
But the voicemail So when I was, so I got called up like to the start of the Euro 2012 qualifying campaign. And so I was in the first two squads, and then I kind of wasn't really in many more after. So when the squad was being announced for the Euros, there was the squads, there was the provisional squad, and I didn't make the provisional squad or the standby list, sorry.
Yeah.
So I think he probably just phoned every player who was involved in the whole campaign, and he was like basically telling me that I'm not on the standby list, but I'm on standby kind of thing. But this was so this is when I phoned him back. So my voicemail at the time was, remember that thing you do, like you'd say, hello?
Yeah.
Hello? I can't hear you, pretending you're on the phone.
Yeah.
So I remember I was out at the end of the season on like a Sunday, like all day. And I was like, obviously didn't have my phone on me. And then I see voicemail. I go and listen to it. And it was Trapattoni on leaving like a 2-minute voicemail. Cillian, hello?
Oh.
For like, honestly, about 2 minutes. And I had the phone back. Oh my God. I can't believe
And did you ever speak to him again?
No, that was the last time I'd heard from him. So when I phoned him back later on, and he told me up.
That's amazing. That's a good team. So to recap your team, you have Manuel Neuer, Messi, Maradona, Prime O.J. Simpson, and Teenage Hitler.
Yeah.
Your manager is Trapattoni. Do you remember Trapattoni? How do you think Trapattoni would manage O.J. Simpson? Do you think they'd get on okay?
He'd probably, Italian. He'd probably like the little madness.
Yeah.
Maybe not the word, madness.
Yeah, I think Trapattoni and O.J. Simpson is a match made in heaven. What's up next for you? Because you're playing with Brecon, end of season ideas to win the Highland League, get into the playoffs. What age are you now, Cillian?
36.
36. Going to keep playing? What's the plan?
I'll keep,
And try doing more media? Are you going to try what?
Keep playing and do. So part-time now is different for me. First time I've done part-time, so I'm kind of.
That's pretty impressive actually to get to 36 and first time part-time.
Yeah, but I'm also like, part of me does look at other guys like similar age to me that are still playing at good level, and I keep like, I find it hard not to watch it and be like,
because what
I could be there. Like
I said this,
but I'm not. So
you had a great end of last season at Queen's Park, and then just did no offers come in, or were you waiting for offers, or what happened?
I was waiting for offers abroad. Few things came in, nothing that I was like going to jump at. I was surprised no championship offer came in, and then a few League One things. That was a few part-time stuff, but I was still kind of hopeful of getting abroad.
Full time, yeah.
And then got the call from Brecon, met with them, loved chatting to them.
Very ambitious team.
What they had, and then that's how I went there. So the fact, like, it is weird, like all the free time I have, I would ideally like to do like as much kind of media stuff as I can.
Yeah.
And then just throw myself into anything.
And you had a podcast called The Sheriff Show with Lewis Capaldi. Did Lewis Capaldi ever manage to make it to an episode in the end?
No. But
just rude, wasn't he?
But he's aware of it. He knows about it.
Yeah. And did he give you an endorsement or anything? Or
I met him out one night with friends, and like I've walked in.
Oh, did you not actually know him?
I've met him once or twice.
Right, because when I remember doing the show with you, and you said, sadly, Lewis hasn't been able to make it again. I found that so funny.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I thought you were like mates.
No.
That's even better.
No, I'd have to go through one or two people to maybe get a yes or a no. Like I've never actually asked if he would do it.
That's so funny, man.
But I was out one night and met my friends who was out with him, and I just went straight to the bar to bring drinks up. And he's like over the bar, and he's like, big man. I turn around and it was him. He's like, come here. So I go over and he's like, I'm Cillian Sheridan. Welcome to the Sheriff Show with Lewis Capaldi. And he said he was buzzing off it, but
it was so funny, man. Every time I saw it,
not buzzing enough where he was like,
I'll do it.
Get me on. I was like, okay. If he does, I'll do one more episode
and just get him,
and it'll be him, and then I'll go out on a bang
and a blaze it. Like O.J. Simpson and young Hitler. Like that is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Cillian Sheridan, thank you so much for coming to Fantasy Fives. One of my favourite episodes so far, just absolutely mental. So check out Cillian. He's at Brecon. Hopefully, we'll get into the playoffs and go play against the bottom of League Two. If you enjoyed the show, remember to give it a rating on whatever device you're listening to and turn on push notifications so you can get the next episode. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Fives, and thanks again, Cillian Sheridan.